This is what it looks like from the 5 freeway as we look south towards downtown San Diego. Yeah, those almost look like rain clouds. So just maybe prepare for a jacket. A lot of those cars may be using their seat warmer this morning. Let's go ahead and switch gears and see what's happening on the 15. This is in both directions right at Poway Road. Also, as you make your way southbound this morning, exiting that neighborhood, headed towards the 163 connector. The 15 is our problem spot this morning, right at Deer Springs Road. We have a car stalled in the fast lane, and it's causing quite the slowdown. In fact, the slowdown probably stretching over half of a mile right now, and speeds down to about 30 miles per hour or so. As we go ahead and zoom on out, we're at steady speeds for the most part, with the exception of that 15 stretch after the 76. We're at full freeway speeds once you get towards Escondido. Same deal coming in from the East County as well as the South Bay. Not much to talk about there. In fact, we're at 68, 70 mile per hour speeds right now if you're headed northbound coming in from Chula Vista National City. Netta.
Thank you very much, Vanessa.
This is a little more north on the 5. This is right at Old Town Avenue as you make your way north from downtown San Diego, headed towards Point Loma. 15 in both directions in pretty good shape. This is coming in from the Poway neighborhood, headed southbound towards Rancho Penasquitos and Rancho Bernardo. Look out for a stalled vehicle blocking the left lane. That's also known as the slow lane, and that's going to be on the 15 right at Deer Springs Road. May slow things down if you're coming in from Hidden Meadows, Bonsall, or the Fallbrook area. Right now, speeds through that pocket about 30 miles per hour or so. As we go ahead and zoom on out, we're looking pretty good this Tuesday, day after Memorial Day. On the 5 and the 15, no major issues coming in from Oceanside and Escondido. Traveling in from Santee and the La Mesa Grossmont Center area, average speeds about 65, 75 miles per hour. And then here's what it looks like coming in from the South Bay, as well as to get you across the Coronado Bridge, 55 mile per hour speeds or so. Travel time still in really good shape. We're all in the green. That's what we love to see. Overall, looking like Tuesday light drives, 10 to 15 right now on the 5 and the 805. Full span of the Coronado Bridge, about 5 minutes at last check. Back to you guys.
Tuesday morning.
Good morning. Yeah, things are fairly quiet. They're starting to pick up, of course, a very stark contrast from what we saw yesterday. I mean, you could count the number of cars on the road due to the holiday. Not quite the case. Everyone's back at work and school this morning. This is the 805 in both directions as you make your way in from Home Avenue. Meanwhile, this is the 5 in both directions as you shoot in from downtown, headed north towards the Mission Bay, Point Loma, even Sunset Cliffs area. 15, this is southbound coming in from Poway Road as you make your way towards the 163 eventually. We have a couple of issues. They're closer to the Hidden Meadows, Fallbrook neighborhoods. We have a stalled car reported blocking the left lane, also known as a fast lane, so that could be a problem. That's at Deer Springs Road, slowing things down to Gopher Canyon. And then we have another breakdown, this one on the 15 northbound. It could cause some slowing as you make your way southbound, but it looks like most of the slowing right now is for those headed out towards the Temecula area this morning. All right, if you're wondering what is going on in the northeast quadrant of the county, all of that yellow indicating where we're seeing the most dense fog. And then as we've been mentioning, you could run into some spotty showers the closer you get to those mountain neighborhoods along the 78 and 79. So look out for that. Let's go ahead and zoom on into those speeds. Still in pretty good shape for all of those drives southbound in from Escondido and Oceanside. No major issues coming in from the East County as you head west, nor out of the South Bay headed north in from Chula Vista and National City. If you're traveling towards the city of Coronado, 55 mile per hour speeds at last check coming in from downtown in the Barrio Logan neighborhood. Back to you guys.
All right, coming up,
crashes nor incidents to alert you of. Right now, we are continuing to follow a stalled car up in the North County. This is on the 15 right where it intersects with the 76, and this may slow things down a bit for you. Let's say if you're headed in from Fallbrook, the Rainbow, Bonsall area. All right, let's go ahead and zoom on out and kind of give you a tour around town and see what we're seeing. Inbound from the South Bay, this is the 5 in both directions right at E Street. Right side of your screen is that drive towards the mile of cars into National City. Average speeds 35 miles per hour. About I'd say 8th Street all the way up towards the mile of cars, and then those speeds start to increase once you get towards the Coronado Bridge, eventually into downtown San Diego. 8 West, here's what it looks like right at College Avenue. Coming at your screen is the westbound drive headed towards the 15 connector passing San Diego State. And then last but not least, here is the 15 in both directions right at Felicita as folks make their way southbound coming in from the Escondido area. eventually headed towards RB and Rancho Penasquitos Forest Ranch areas. All right, travel time still in pretty good shape. We're starting to slow down. This is usual, though, for this time of day, about 12 to 18 minutes for those drives headed northbound, both on the 5 and the 805. Eric? They could be intimidating, like, for sure, I get it, but just growing up with them, I'm like, no, he's a sweetheart. What are you talking about? Cooper is such a beautiful dog there. And yes, no judgment here if you are, in fact, keeping that Christmas tree up all year long. All right, 6:48 is the time. Let's go ahead and take you back to the 15 because that's where we are still continuing to track a stalled car in the Central Divide. This is in Escondido on the 15 right at Deer Springs Road. This could set you back a little bit. Let's say if you're headed in from the Hidden Meadows, Fallbrook, Bonsall, Rainbow area, and you use the 15 towards Escondido. All right, if you're wondering what that big blob of orange is in the northeast quadrant of our region, that's where we're seeing some pretty dense fog. So right along the 79 and 78, if you live near Palma Valley and you're headed east or headed in from those areas towards Palma Valley, this may set you back a little bit. Just make sure that you're using caution and leaving time for travel this morning if you live in those areas. All right, 39 to about 68 mile per hour speeds. That's what we're averaging coming in from Escondido as well as Oceanside. So most of the brake tapping is occurring from Escondido all the way down to Villa Rancho on the 15 South, and then things start to improve after that. Coming up in the 7 o'clock drive as you make your way towards the mile of cars coming in from Chula Vista. Let's go ahead and see what's happening on the 5, a little more north near downtown San Diego. This is the view looking south towards downtown from Old Town Avenue. Things in pretty good shape as you make your way northbound towards that 8 connector. And then this is the 15 in both directions coming in from Poway as you make your way towards RB, Rancho Penasquitos, Ted Williams south. All right. There's that crash I just mentioned. It just popped up on the CAD. So this is going to slow things down on the 94. Additional brake tapping. There's already a lot of brake tapping because folks head into downtown and then head on to the 5 from the 94. So you can expect additional slowing through that area. Speeds right now in pretty good shape. Of course, we're seeing our usual pockets of slowing for this time of day. And we're also seeing some pretty thick fog out there in the northeast quadrant of the region, right along the 78 and the 79 as you make your way either in or out of the Julian neighborhood. So look out for that. We are dealing with 65, 75 mile per hour speeds south of Encinitas as well as south of Villa Rancho, but it's just north of that where we're seeing the most slowing. So 25 mile per hour speeds coming in from the 78 down to Villa Rancho, in from Escondido, and then the speeds increase once you get past that. 16 mile per hour speeds, that's how slow it is right now coming in from Santee headed west up the summit. 70 meanwhile about that coming in from the Grossmont and La Mesa area. And then, of course, we're seeing our fair share of slowing coming in from Chula Vista National City headed north on the 5 and the 805. Netta?
Thank you.
Off with some live cameras. This is the 5 in both directions at E Street. Also the 5 a little more north towards downtown San Diego where we're at steady speeds. And we're seeing a nice flow of traffic coming in from Poway Road. Look out for a crash. This is going to slow things down on the 94 bottlenecked as you make your way into downtown on the westbound end, slowing things down all the way to 25th. Back to you. There's a significant backup on their way. I tried to think of avocados or like look at the light. None of those worked. 8 westbound right through the college area. That's what we're seeing as you make your way west this morning. And then this is the southbound drive on the 15, 20 mile per hour speeds coming in from Escondido. All right, pulling up your travel times. We are crawling right now on the 5 coming in from the 54 as you head north towards the 8 freeway, about a 25-minute ride in from San Isidro up to the 94. That's through City Heights. And remember, we have a lot of that slowing on the 94 due to that crash near Balboa Park. 5 minutes full span of the Coronado Bridge. If you're traveling westbound in from the East County, we're averaging about 5 to 15 on the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. Back to you guys. Especially coming in from the 805, which a lot of people do, headed towards downtown. Look out for this crash. This is just before the 5, slowing things down, not even towards 25th, but even past that in the Lemon Grove area. That's where we start tapping the brakes. And then this one just came in on the 805 North right at Imperial. This is going to slow things down for anyone headed in from Chula Vista National City. Most of the slowing stop and go from about Plaza Boulevard as you make your way northbound towards City Heights. Speeds right now averaging about 35 miles per hour. Things are progressing and getting a little smoother on the 5 coming in from Chula Vista as you make your way towards the mile of cars. Netta? 7 is the time, and yeah, things are back to normal as you head out the door this morning. In fact, we have a couple of crashes that's going to cause some slowing as you make your way towards the curves into downtown San Diego. So we have this crash right before the 163. It's slowing things down on the 94 and the 5. So something to keep in mind. Maybe you're headed towards downtown, maybe the airport. You are going to run into additional slowing if you're coming in from the south end headed northbound this morning. We have this crash as well. This is blocking the left lane, also known as the fast lane, and this is on the 805 North right after Imperial. It's causing quite a bit of congestion coming in from National City, and you can see once folks pass that crash, things start to speed up. So yes, it is a gridlock through that pocket because of that incident there. All right, let's go ahead and give you a live look outside. Things are really nice coming in from the South Bay as you make your way north towards National City. Here's that drive as you make your way westbound. We are seeing a parking lot kind of drive, pretty crowded here on the 8 in both directions, right at College. And then last but not least, here's what it looks like on the 15. 25-mile-per-hour speeds is what these cars are averaging here on the 15 South, just north of Felicita. All right, let's go ahead and pull up those travel times. Ooh, it's a bit yucky, 20 to 30 minutes right now on the 5 and the 805 coming in from Chula Vista National City. Coming in from the East County, it could be worse. We are still in the yellow, but still pretty slow, about 35-mile-per-hour speeds coming in from the 52, the 8, as well as the 94. And then here's what it looks like coming in from the North County, headed south. About a 20-minute ride for all of the drives. 5 south in from Oceanside to Encinitas, 20 minutes. If you're traveling in from Escondido to the 163 merge, also 20. Full span of the 78 from the 15 to the 5, about a 20-minute ride as well. Eric? Expressway, also known as the 125 near the East Lake and Otay Ranch area. It's bottlenecking things all the way from Otay Ranch. In fact, as you make your way up the toll freeway towards the La Presa, Spring Valley, Paradise Hills area. We also have another crash on the 805. There, this is just adjacent to Plaza Bonita Mall. Left side of your screen is that drive as you make your way northbound towards the 54 connector. Let's go ahead and see what's happening on your freeways. All right, if you live in the East Lake, Otay Ranch area and use the Express Freeway, also known as the 125. You're going to want to leave time for travel as you pass the Sweetwater Reservoir. You are bottlenecked up to the 54. I mean, we are crawling at speeds of about 15 miles per hour or so due to a crash that's blocking a couple of the lanes. And if you've been on that freeway, you know there aren't a lot of lanes. There's only about 2 or 3. So 2 lanes is certainly going to cause an issue for those headed out that direction. We have another crash. This is also slowing things down. Pretty much stop and go from the 54 all the way up to the 94 because of this crash blocking the fast lane on the 805 right after Imperial, causing stop and go down to Plaza Boulevard. All right, let's go ahead and give you another live look outside on the 5 in both directions. The right side of your screen is that drive headed northbound. So if you want to avoid some of that slowing on the 805, you could opt for the 54 west, hop onto the 5 north to get around that. We're also tracking pretty nice drives right now coming in from the College area as you make your way west towards Mission Valley. Cars were crawling earlier, but it looks like things are improving as we're approaching the 9 o'clock hour. Oh, and take a look at this. No bueno. 15 just north of Felicita. It looks like we are now seeing some slowing. There may be some activity near Villa Rancho. Nothing popped up on the CAD, but there's obviously something going on because there is congestion as you make your way south through that area this morning. Eric?
Vanessa, thank you so